The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, but the truth is we know more about the surface of the moon than about what lies and lives in the abyssal depths. What would you do if, on a regular fishing day, you pulled something in your net that science says is impossible? Today, I will show you records that authorities tried to isolate and videos that were deleted a few hours after being posted. From humanoid hands tapping on submarine windows in Greenland to mermaid carcasses that look nothing like the fairy tales you know. But before we begin, I want to issue a challenge that is dividing opinions. Look at these images. Tell me in the comments, do you believe these creatures are ancient beings that have always lived hidden? Or are we facing genetic experiments that the government let escape from secret laboratories? Don't sit on the fence. Comment down below now if it's nature or an experiment. I will read the craziest theories. And prepare yourself mentally, because the case that happened in Scotland, which I will show you shortly, proves that what we call a monster might be much closer to the surface than we imagine. Let's get to the facts. The legendary mermaid. A TikToker never expected to find this while walking along the shore. Something had appeared on the sand, and just the smell made it difficult to get close. At first, it didn't seem entirely like a fish, but it wasn't human either. Its body resembled a mermaid, worn and battered by the sea. The figure looked old, almost like a fossil, as if it had been adrift for years and had finally reached the shore. Before anyone could see its real face, the video ended. Later, he revealed that the authorities removed it, but the beach became a viral spot, with people debating that the ocean had really delivered it. Scientists in Poland. A tourist in Poland shared a video that drove the internet crazy. While walking along a calm river, he spotted scientists handling a being that was clearly not human. They carefully lifted it onto a stretcher, moving cautiously, as if guarding a secret. As soon as the images appeared online, speculation ran wild. Locals had long whispered about strange events in the area, even saying that mermaids haunted the river. The scary part, fishermen avoided it due to old superstitions. Internet users wondered if the researchers were studying fossils or recreating legendary beings in that river. Whatever the truth, that single clip made the river famous again, and people now approach it with a mix of curiosity and fear. The hidden beasts. A man in Scotland was enjoying a quiet day at the beach when something unusual moved in the waves. When he zoomed in, a long, dark neck rose above the water. Then the video ended before its real form could be shown. That single moment was enough to bring the mystery of Loch Ness back into focus. Around the same time, National Geographic shared reports about Scotland's prehistoric past. In the ponds and along the rivers and lakes, you would have dinosaurs. These types of animals indeed lived in Scotland. There were sea monsters here, showing that dinosaur fossils have been found throughout the country. They shared that massive creatures once lived on land and in the sea, and some animals considered extinct have been seen again. This raises a disturbing idea. What if a prehistoric animal never disappeared, but adapted over centuries in deep waters, slowly becoming what people now describe as the Loch Ness creature? Let me know in the comments. Deep mysteries. While exploring the dark waters of Greenland in 2013, a submarine crew was studying marine life far below the surface. Everything seemed normal until a splayed hand suddenly appeared, pressing against the observation window. It did not match any known species. For a moment, the team froze. In the replay, it got even stranger. The hand seemed attached to a humanoid shape, with almost human features. A witness said it seemed to be staring at a face, not an animal. The media called it unidentified, while local residents suggested it was a mermaid. As humans have explored only about 5% of the ocean, vast depths remain where invisible beings may still exist, silently watching. Silent-legged mermaid. A fisherman thought he had caught a big fish, but when he pulled it up, something impossible appeared. A creature with a humanoid body and a tail. Unlike normal mermaids with fish tails, this one had human legs fused into its lower body. It stayed in the net for just a brief moment before the video ended. No one knows what happened afterward, and no explanation was ever given. It seemed like a completely new kind of mermaid, there for just an instant. Perhaps these beings do not live only in the deep oceans. They might move through the rivers, closer to us than anyone ever imagined. Creatures of the rivers. A diver was exploring marine life and corals when something strange happened. For a few seconds, a huge head with spikes emerged from the water before disappearing again. It was unlike any fish he had ever seen. Massive, fierce, almost like a creature from a prehistoric era. The sight left him stunned. No, people wonder if the river hides an ancient monster. A river dragon that has remained hidden for decades, silently watching beneath the surface. The near capture. What if a fisherman tried to prove a strange sighting, only for the evidence to disappear at the last second? One night he returned to the same waters where he had previously glimpsed a humanoid shape moving just below the wave. Teens say that this time it seemed he finally caught it in his net. The shape was unmistakably a mermaid. Its head struggled, but before he could look closer, it broke free and disappeared back into the sea. The near capture left him stunned. This encounter proves that these beings are real, intelligent, and quick enough to avoid even the most cunning human traps. The attack of the megalodon. The video is going viral, with people calling it the most convincing proof of the megalodon's existence. The water exploded without warning, and the fisherman instinctively started recording. Near the wooden pier, a massive fin emerged, rising above the waves for a brief and shocking moment. Its size was unnatural, too large and powerful to be any common sea creature. And as quickly as it appeared, it vanished into the deep sea, giving everyone enough evidence to believe that the long-lost monster is back. Forbidden Lake. What if the biggest catch of your life was worth more than money, was worth a memory you would never forget? That's what happened to a fisherman late at night when his net pulled up something unreal. It was not a normal catch. Officials arrived quickly and took control. The figure was kept covered, its face hidden from the public. Only a strange tail could be seen before it was removed. By morning, it was already gone, sent to a laboratory, sealed from any questioning. No report was shared and most related videos were removed within a few hours. Legend cited. The ocean sometimes reveals visitors we should never see. A fisherman cast his net and never imagined that a fish could have a companion, one straight out of legends. It was a mermaid, although some later claimed it was just a girl in costume. Soon it became clear that the previous sighting was real. Perhaps these encounters show that folklore was never just a story. Secrets of the ocean. They say the megalodon is extinct, but recent reports suggest otherwise. Sailors in the Pacific have started noticing something impossible, a massive fin cutting through the water. At first, the fishermen assumed it was a great white shark, but the size and sharpness of the fin were far beyond anything normal. Curiosity turned into investigation as marine biologists studied the area, diving into the hidden depths of the ocean to uncover the truth. Then, the unbelievable happened. They discovered a baby megalodon off the coast of Australia. Whispering waves. It was late at night when a crew realized they were not alone in the water. A member took out his phone and started filming, capturing strange whispers. The fishermen trembled, realizing the voice matched the old sailors' tales, mermaids luring fishermen into danger. That night, the warning was real. The footage left no doubt. These ancient beings are not always friendly. Sometimes curiosity can be deadly, and it is much safer to keep a distance than to get too close. Say BDG Nasin Michael Bibis. mermaid of the coast. A tourist in Puerto Rico was filming the water from his balcony, hoping to capture waves and common fish. Instead, the camera captured something shocking. Deep below the surface, a figure moved quickly and smoothly. It definitely wasn't a shadow or a blur. It looked like a mermaid swimming freely near the coast. The way she glided was so natural, so deliberate, that it didn't seem human. After that day, she was never seen again. Bright eyes. For a long time, there were reports of a strange creature in the water, with fishermen claiming it would lead to their immediate capture. A research team decided to investigate and set out with cameras to capture it. After a while, they finally saw it, a large, dark monster with lights shining in its eyes. The creature moved slowly over the water. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it disappeared beneath the surface. Only the glowing eyes were visible for a brief moment before the video ended. Scientists are now debating whether this monster fish is a prehistoric survivor or a new species that evolved quietly and finally surfaced in search of food. Underwater legends. 4 fishermen went out on a boat last month and were never found. People in Venice are in shock after local media reported a chilling and frightening story. 4 fishermen went on a routine trip and never returned. The Coast Guard searched for 2 weeks before ending the search, leaving families desperate and fearful. Locals now speak of an ancient curse, calm for centuries, but recently disturbed by the fishermen, awakening the furious spirit of the lagoon. Now, they say the spirit claims anyone who ventures too far into the waters. Authorities warn anyone who spots the missing boat to contact the police immediately. For the people, the waters have become a place of fear. Escape of the merman. A security camera on a fishing boat captured something that no one would have believed. In the nearby net, a terrifying creature broke free, sliding back into the water with unnatural speed. Its shape and movements were unlike any known marine life. It looked almost human below the waist. Researchers later claimed it was a merman, unlike any species documented before. The way it moved and its appearance did not match anything from the depths. Fortunately, the camera recorded everything. Otherwise, no one would have believed what really visited that boat that night. The shark attack. In 2015, what was supposed to be an exciting world surfing competition in Australia turned into a nightmare that no one expected. The waves were calm and the surfers ready. But in a split second, Mick Fanning, 3-time world champion, suddenly felt something behind him. Before he could react, a massive shark attacked, dragging him into the water. He later told the media that after punching the shark and struggling with his board, he finally managed to escape. The competition was immediately cancelled. This shows that even the best athletes are defenseless when nature makes its move. Mystery of Lake Van. In the mid-1990s, Lake Van in eastern Turkey became the center of fear and curiosity. Fishermen and local residents began reporting a long, dark shape moving quickly through the water. The images were blurry, but they showed something big in the middle of the lake. Film crews rushed, but failed every time. More than 1,000 witnesses claimed to have seen a long, dark shape moving quickly across the lake. Jess Kendi. Finally, in 1997, an assistant from the University of Van filmed a large figure swimming, estimated to be almost 15 meters long. The footage later aired on CNN and sparked worldwide debate. Some said it looked like an ancient reptile, similar to a plesiosaur or the Loch Ness Monster. Others dismissed it as a hoax or floating debris. Scientists remain divided, and no clear explanation has ever been given to us. Skeleton on the beach. A strange discovery shocked beachgoers at Sagni Beach after an exceptionally high tide. Lying tangled in driftwood and broken branches was a small, desiccated body, something that did not look natural at all. The details were disturbing. It had a tiny skull and arms like those of a child, but the lower half had a tail like a fish. The remains were dry but well preserved, making its shape easy to see. Soon, the video went viral, and people couldn't stop thinking the same thing. It looked like a mermaid skeleton. For the rest of them, it could be a long-lost species, a missing link between humans and the sea. Now the question is not just whether mermaids are real, it's how many different species might be living beneath the waves. Electric catch. A man was at a picnic with friends when he spotted something no one could imagine. Casting his line, he caught a fish that seemed alive with electricity. Its body glowed faintly, sparks dancing along its skin like hundreds of tiny lightning bolts trapped inside. Mesmerized, he kept his distance, knowing it was best not to touch it. It was a powerful and unpredictable electric eel. The wrong move could have meant a shock strong enough to paralyze. If you ever catch one, remember, stay calm, keep your distance, and act like a man. The wrong move, and that spark can teach you a lesson. Grilled predator. In 2007, a diver in Washima Marine Park, Japan, captured a sight that seemed to have come directly from prehistoric times. A long, eel-like creature glided through the water with a mouth full of needle-sharp teeth. It did not swim like any common fish. It moved with an ancient grace. The diver soon realized it was a frilled shark, a rare species that usually lives more than 600 meters below the surface. Its sudden appearance so close to the shore shocked everyone in the park. That day proved that the deep ocean still hides secrets that can surface when least expected. If you see something ancient beneath the waves, keep your distance. It is not lost. Alien shark. A fisherman caught a strange bloated fish that no one could initially identify in Mexico. Its fluffy body and unusual shape made people wonder if it was a new species of ocean life. Some even called it an alien fish. The mystery came from the waters of Cabo. Experts studied the photos carefully and finally solved it. The creature is actually an albino swollen shark, a rare but real species that still lives in the ocean. As for the shark's fate, it was returned to the ocean after its capture. What a good attitude. Giant sturgeon. In St. Heliers, a fisherman caught a fish so massive that it almost broke his grip. He held it carefully and quickly took photos, showing the incredible size and weight of the creature. The fish was a sturgeon, one of the largest and oldest freshwater species alive today. Seeing it in his hands, with its strong body and prehistoric features, was breathtaking. For a moment, it seemed like holding a piece of history. On that day, the fisherman didn't just make a catch. He held a living giant.
Twin fish.
A fisherman caught a fish in an inland river that was a shocking sight. One head with two fully formed bodies. But how is this possible? Well, scientists say this happens due to rare genetic factors, not the environment. Well, for them, such fish rarely survive in the wild, as both bodies struggle to swim. The fish thrashed helplessly in the water, creating a frightening display. For those who saw it, the sight raised a chilling question. Should a creature like this have existed? Nature produced something fascinating and tragic at the same time. De que es media desnene. Ocean mystery. Who would have thought that a simple kayaking trip could become so magical? While filming underwater, a group of kayakers spotted something strange floating nearby. Slowly, they realized it was not something common. The creature was transparent, long and tubular, about 8 meters in length. They recorded the entire encounter and even sent the video, claiming it was a mythical creature. But skeptics dismissed it, saying it was a pyrosome. But I'll leave the true identification for you to decide in the comments. Sailfish spectacle. You won't believe what a tourist captured during a whale watching tour. As the boat floated over deep blue waters, a fish appeared, so enormous and dazzlingly beautiful that it left everyone in awe. For a brief moment, it seemed otherworldly, like something magical. The fish glided alongside the boat, splashing water as it displayed its movements. It was a giant sailfish, one of the fastest and most graceful creatures in the ocean. After a few seconds of display, it silently slid back into the depths, leaving only ripples as a memory of a moment that few will witness again. Glowing jellyfish. Have you ever seen a jellyfish? Well, not like this one. She appeared on the beach and immediately became the talk of the town, not because of her size, but because she glowed with a strange light. People kept their distance, feeling as if she had come from another world. Marine experts later confirmed that it was a bioluminescent jellyfish, a rare type capable of producing its own light. Harmless, yes, but its mysterious glow made the beach look completely different that night. Shrimp hybrid. A fisherman was shocked by a catch that immediately became unforgettable. He thought he had stumbled upon a mysterious hybrid of fish and shrimp, but later, experts confirmed the truth. It was an armored cabrim, Robus amugornado, a rare but real fish known for its strange and armored appearance. Even knowing its name, it didn't seem any less strange. Dragon skeleton. On the Mexican coast, a beach worker found a skeleton in the sand. At first glance, it looked like a small dragon. The body was about 1 meter long, had a tail that looked like a dragon's, sharp jaws, and what seemed to be small dry feathers. Scientists examined it and confirmed it was real, although they couldn't identify the species. People were amazed and curious, thinking it could be a mythical creature. Later, when examined closely, the truth appeared. The skeleton was not a dragon at all. It was just a dried stingray. Well, how the ocean can easily deceive people's eyes and imagination. Nephilim of the beach. Beachgoers visiting the beach at night thought they were looking at something impossible. Lying on the sand was a shape that looked like a fish, but very deformed. They approached, confused and excited, trying to film. But the more they looked, the more bizarre it became. One called it a deformed eel. According to others, it was some unidentified creature that had just made its first appearance. Online viewers were quick to call it a mythical creature. Blue Lagoon. A swimmer enjoying the cool waters of Jamaica's Blue Lagoon noticed a structure that did not seem as rigid as it should be. When he zoomed in with his camera, a pale face could be seen. It seemed to be looking directly at the cameraman. The sight was bizarre. When the footage reached the local residents, they claimed that the lagoon had always harbored strange beings invisible beneath its surface. This could be clear evidence of what the secret cave has hidden there. Ocean giant. A marine photographer was flying a drone over the open ocean when something unusual caught his attention. As the drone got closer, the shape became clearer, a huge creature gliding just below the surface. Its wings spanned almost 7 meters, shining white against the deep blue, moving like a living cloud, floating in the water. Experts later identified it as an albino manta ray, one of the rarest creatures in the ocean. Some believed it was fleeing from trouble, but experts explained that this is exactly how it attacks, using its size to intimidate predators. On that day, the sea revealed one of its most secret giants. After everything we saw today, from the baby megalodon in Australia to the sounds captured in the open sea, one thing is certain: the ocean is not just water and salt, it is a living archive of secrets that humanity has barely begun to decipher. Many say that these sightings are just optical illusions or deformed animals, but the speed with which the authorities isolate these areas and confiscate the evidence tells a very different story. What you saw here today may be just the tip of the iceberg of something much larger and perhaps more dangerous that inhabits our own planet. If you like facing the unknown and aren't afraid to discover what the official versions try to hide, subscribe to the channel now and activate notifications. Here we don't just tell stories, we seek the truth that no one wants to reveal. And before you go, don't forget to check if your theory about genetic experiments makes sense compared to the other videos we've already posted here. Thank you for watching until the end. Keep your eyes open and remember, at the bottom of the sea, no one can hear you scream. Until the next mystery.